Mistakes in Crusader Kings 3 are always only one click away. Today we have a disastrous submission from Francis, which proves exactly that. Francis was playing a tall game as Cornwall, and he was doing a pretty amazing job. After about 300 years of gameplay, he had by far the most developed land in the world. But as I'm sure you know, after hours of scintillating tall gameplay, CKA 3 kind of turns into Pop-Up Simulator 3, and after dominating a crusade for a single county north of him, Francis was graced with the event task that asks, if instead of continuing as your current realm, you can play as the newly conquered Crusader Kingdom. Probably half asleep, Francis pressed the wrong option. And in an Iron Man game, that's all it takes for you to lose control of the kingdom you spent hours creating. A defeated Francis then took the only option left available to him and sent me his save file, asking if I could somehow regain control of his amazing tall Cornish kingdom, now playing as the tiny one county realm he accidentally switched to. So let's get into this game and see if we can get it done. Alright guys, we just hopped into Francis's game here, and you can see the particularly sticky situation that we're in.
You took everything from me.
I don't even know who you are.
So because Francis ended up taking that decision to play as his newly conquered Crusader Kingdom, he lost his whole kingdom of Cornwall. And if we just take a quick look around at some of the other kingdoms around the British Isles, England has 5,000 men, Ireland has 3,000, Scotland has 4,300, and Cornwall has 16,000 men. Really, you had done a great job of developing your tall Cornish kingdom here, and you can see that when I look at the relatively new economy map mode. You were just making heaps of gold out of here. Like 29 in your capital castle is pretty nutty, and even in the second county here of Cornwall, you're making a lot of money. You can see the stats were crazy on his character. He had pretty much great all around, tons of gold, tons of prestige, military insanely strong, fully maxed out. But now our goal is to retake this land as somebody who is a little bit less good.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
So since we're playing as this new kingdom here, and there was only one county of a different religion, the Crusade only gave us one piece of land here. So we only have one castle, one city, and then an empty holding over here. You know, we're not looking that good. Again, let's look at our capital in Cornwall before. There's just fully maxed out buildings.
I've looked at this for 5 hours now.
Development is also absolutely insane. We get 82 development and going up by 5.1, and that's the computer controlling it, which is pretty impressive. Looking at the development map, you can see 82 in Cornwall, but the rest of the world isn't anywhere close. 51 is probably the highest development in the rest of the world. So I was trying to think of a way we could win back Cornwall militarily, and honestly I'm not really seeing how it could be possible unless we would play this game for a really long time, like slowly take land maybe from England because they're not that strong, and then like slowly develop our land, increase our own strength until we can actually compete with somebody who has like 16,000 men. Like that would take a really long time. And it's kind of like the same playstyle we've done a lot recently, just like grow tall, get strong, and then kill all your enemies.
No tienes enemigos. Nadie tiene enemigos. Nadie en este mundo merece ser herido.
But then after looking into the military difference between us and our previous kingdom, I realized maybe something we could do is ally ourselves to somebody really strong and use them as a buffer, but that's a little bit cheesy. But looking into that option, if we click on my player heir and daughter right now and find her spouse, sort by alliance power, you can see we can actually ally ourselves to Cornwall itself. And you might be thinking, how's that going to help you? If I'm going to ally with them, it gives me even less options for like getting claims on them and trying to invade them, you know, trying to launch a war against them. But what if we could win back Francis's beautiful tall Cornwall kingdom without having to do a single battle?
What are you talking about?
So what I was thinking is if we marry our daughter to my cousin, which is one of the sons of this king of Cornwall, we could actually organize a matrilineal marriage. And he would accept this because if we look at him, he already has 3 other sons older than this character right here. So the chances of the Cornish Kingdom falling to this character are really low. So it doesn't matter if you do a matrilineal marriage. It also would get us an alliance of 16,000 men being allied to Cornwall, so we wouldn't really have to worry about Scotland or England getting a little bit hungry and trying to eat us while we don't have that much military strength as it is. He's going to accept it, of course, like we are his nephew, so he should be pretty friendly with us. We also have all these benefits of actually being a Crusader King, where people with the same faith as us get increased opinion, which is really nice. And now if we look at the King of Cornwall, well, he's not our new son-in-law just yet because they're not fully betrothed, but he is now 4th in line to inherit this whole kingdom. So what would happen if these 3 sons mysteriously died? That would make it so that my cousin and my daughter's kids would then become the first in line to inherit Cornwall for themselves. And I'm going to be playing as my daughter right now because I don't have any other kids. And if our next player heir after her is first in line to get Cornwall, that would mean at the time of her death, I play as her kid. I will then regain control of all of Cornwall without having to do a single battle.
I am Jose Mourinho.
So that's the plan here, but you know, at the end of the day, we're playing Crusader Kings 3 and anything can happen to throw a few wrenches in my plan. Now that we have this alliance set up and we have our daughter over here, I'm going to just chill out. I have a lot of gold, but I won't really spend too much of it. We don't have any men at arms, but I think that's fine. We don't really need, we shouldn't need to do any wars right now. The only thing I'm going to focus on for the next few years as this character is making sure my daughter gets a good education, and hopefully she'll have a childhood focus so that we can put her on an intrigue education, because we're going to need to run quite a few murder schemes on all of this guy's sons later in the game. And right now we could probably do 1 or 2 as our character, but the only problem is we're going to get really stressed out by it because we are of course compassionate and just, which does not really fit with running a bunch of murders on people. One thing I have to be really careful about is I don't want to have a son right now because this daughter is going to be our player heir, but if we have a kid who's a male character, he will jump her in the succession. So there's a few things I could do here. Oh, I actually have restraint. That is huge. Because I have restraint already, I can just embrace celibacy right now.
I do not wish to be horny anymore. I just want to be happy.
That means we shouldn't have any sexual relations with our wife, meaning we should only have 1 kid here. So I actually picked up some perks in whole of body, like carefree and mental resilience, to make it so that we gain a little bit less stress from doing naughty things. And to pair that, I'm going to go for the first lifestyle focus for intrigue here, and I'll try to pick up maybe swift execution and a job done right. And once that's done, I think I could probably run 1 or 2 murder schemes on the Cornish King's sons. Right now you can see we have a 27% chance and we would still gain 96 stress. But you know, we could easily lose that stress just by doing a feast and stuff, and I am still holding my gold because there's really no point of me upgrading buildings in my capital if I'm going to be playing as Cornwall soon anyway. Okay guys, I think I'm going to start a murder scheme here. I don't have the intrigue perks just yet, but I'm in the middle of a feast and we're going to gain a lot of stress from doing this murder. Like, let's see if we go... Well, I guess we can murder any one of these guys who are before our cousin slash future son-in-law. This guy here, we actually already have a 46% chance. You see, we're going to gain 66 stress from this. So we'll start the murder scheme. And then you can see in my feast event, I hadn't clicked this option that loses me 36 stress. So right there, I can then click that. And now we go back to a reasonable level of stress. I don't even have to worry about getting stressed out. I can also invite people to this murder scheme because I have a lot of money. So 75 gold is pretty much going to get this up to almost 100% in both the chance and the secrecy. So that should be fine. And we can start killing the Cornish King's sons so that our future son-in-law can gain more power in that realm. Okay, here goes our first murder scheme. Let's see. And looks like we killed him. Nobody discovered it was us as well, which is pretty good. Now if we look at the Cornish Kingdom, you can see our son only has 2 other people in front of him in terms of the succession. Oh, actually, it looks like there's 3 people in front of him because... Okay, it's because this guy has a kid, actually, so their kids are going to count as well. So I think I do have to be murdering these guys as fast as possible, probably, to make sure they don't have too many sons, which will just muddy the waters and we'll have to do more murdering. But that being said, like, our daughter with a intrigue focus should be able to kill a lot of people on her own. Okay, I'm going to do another murder scheme on this guy because he already has a son, so we should try to stop him from having too many more kids. It's low percent, but I think we can invite a bunch of people to this. Oh, this lady loves to help us with our murder schemes, and she has a great percent chance increase.
Money. Gold.
So we'll bribe 3 people here to join these, and that should get it up to a reasonably high, almost 80% now, which is pretty decent. Okay, so here goes the murder scheme.
Do it.
79% chance, like, pretty decent. Oh, no way. Looks like somehow he survived. We'll have to do it again. I guess that's bound to happen. We could always invite another person towards the end of this if we think we need to, get that up a little bit more. Again, we're in no rush here. We still have to wait till our daughter is, like, of age to play as her. She needs to have some kids with this guy, so not really in a big hurry here. Okay, here we go again. This time it's 89%.
Gotcha.
There you go. Must have been something he ate. And now if we look at the line of succession, we are 3rd in line. Alright, it also looks like the King of Cornwall is taking more land. Don't have a problem with that because the way we're doing this game, we should inherit this whole thing. Oh yeah, I forgot another really useful thing I could have been doing to get our murder scheme success chance up is finding better spy masters and actually having them on support scheme. Right now we only have a tier 11 one, but if we go to our quarters, we should be able to find either a male character or a female character who actually has good intrigue ability, like this guy here.
Hello there.
She should marry him, and now if we go over here, we can probably find her 22 skill instead of 11. I also just picked up Swift Execution, which gives us plus 30% hostile scheme power. So let's go over here and murder this guy next. 25% chance right now.
It's time to go.
That's not too amazing, but he's probably going to be the hardest one. Oh no, guys. I was running my murder scheme on this guy. I was able to get up to 40%. And then look at this. Our cousin, the one who we had married our daughter to, actually just died, which is a pretty big bummer. But let's see if we could arrange a marriage with one of these guys and our daughter. And if we do matrilineal, oh, they would accept this. Okay, so we might still be able to get our daughter really close to inheriting this tile. What about this kid here? Oh, he would accept that too. Okay. So that is actually pretty huge. Let's arrange a marriage with the 2nd in line of the Cornwall Kingdom.
Excellent.
If we look at the line of succession, we now just have to murder this guy who we have a 40% chance. I'm trying to get this as high as possible right now. But if we do manage to kill this guy, we would have our daughter married to the heir of Cornwall with a matrilineal marriage, meaning their kids will inherit Cornwall as well. Okay, and here's the murder scheme, 40% chance. Let's see if it's gonna go through. Okay, so it went through, but they found out that we actually were the ones to kill him. So we have a murder trait, familiar kinslayer as well. But what happened because of that is now our daughter is actually betrothed to the heir of Cornwall, which is exactly what we wanted. Ooh, we could actually negotiate an alliance with Cornwall because we're now married to their heir. But the problem is he doesn't really like us, probably because we are a murderer and we killed his family. But could we just sway him? Yeah, 74% chance we can just sway him. Like, sorry for killing your half your family, but I still would like to be your friend, if that's possible. And I'm trying to increase my military strength just a little bit, but I don't have that much gold, so like every bit of men-at-arms that I buy reduces our monthly income, which is not the best. The other thing I'm doing is increasing our opinion with him by swaying him. We're at plus 56 right now, so if we can actually go to plus like 80, we should get this just into the positive and we can have an alliance with him, even though we murdered his family. Alright, so we successfully swayed him one more time, and now we have plus 82. But if you see, if we want to negotiate an alliance, we're still at minus 5. So we just need to go up 5 more opinion with him. I unequipped my hammer artifact so we could give it to him, which will gain us 25 more opinion, and now if we go over here, we should be able to make an alliance with him. So there you go, now everything is safe, we have an alliance with him, we're first in line, our daughter is married to their first in line heir with a matrilineal marriage, and everything is pretty much perfect. We can just wait until this guy dies at this point, and then play as our daughter. Okay guys, and it looks like my daughter had a kid, so we have a player heir lined up here. So no matter what happens now, we should be able to actually get Cornwall after we play as our next, not our next character, but the character after that. We should have control of Cornwall. So there's been some cultural blending going on in my Cornish, well, my soon-to-be Cornish Kingdom. Looks like they moved the capital down here and created a hybrid culture with the Anglo-Saxons, but this isn't really good. Like if we compare the two cultures, the Cornish culture, which I think is what Francis was had tediously made to play tall, actually has forest folk, which reduces cost and increases development in forest, which there's a lot of forests around here. Ancient miners, like it has way better things than the Anglo-Cornish culture. The one thing they maybe do have is longbowmen, which, you know, if you saw my longbowmen video, they actually become really powerful once you're in high medieval era. I still don't think it's a problem because once we get control of this, we could always move our capital over here to the Cornish territory and then just convert the culture, convert to that culture, and we should be fine. Okay, we just picked up Infirm, which is good because that means we should have a decent health decrease from that. Okay guys, so we just died. My guy had become melancholic in his old age. Maybe it had something to do with the fact that we made him a murderer when he had the just and compassionate traits.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Just maybe, but I think that's okay because we needed him to die out anyway to play as his daughter, who is now the queen of our little piece of land here. And you can see our husband is actually the heir of the Cornwall Kingdom. So whenever this guy dies, our husband will take over. We'll still be playing as our queen in this area here, but what's going to happen is instead of having our spouse here like on assist ruler, which we can do to get more gold, he'll be unavailable because he's going to be running his own kingdom down here in Cornwall. But that's fine because you can see we have a beautiful son together who is our player heir and who should also be second in line to rule the Cornwall Kingdom, finally getting Francis's kingdom back under his control in this Iron Man game. Oh, okay guys, so I didn't notice, but you can see the King of Cornwall actually died. So now our husband has taken control of Cornwall, and you can see his heir is our player heir. So our son is going to stand to inherit our kingdom of Catholic England, which I actually put a decent amount of money into now. You can see I built the royal reserves here. I built a windmill, so we're making okay gold from here. Not amazing gold, but like just enough that I can do all my schemes and like pay people off and stuff like that. Our son will be sitting pretty after he inherits both of these kingdoms. Okay, we're just picking up Infirm now, so that's normally a sign that we're probably going to die soon. Our husband also actually just got Infirm, so hopefully he's going to go soon as well. Alright guys, there it is. We just died first. So now we're playing as our 29-year-old son. We found him a decent wife, intelligent. We are in line to inherit the Kingdom of Cornwall, like we planned everything out to perfection.
You don't have a thought behind those eyes, do you?
Oh, okay guys. Looks like our father is near death, meaning we should get Cornwall very soon. England just got completely eaten up, like, goodbye England. Oh, and there you go guys, inheritance. Look at that, our father has died. Oh my goodness, he got a ton of good artifacts.
All right, that's good. Okay, okay. All right, okay, all right. Okay, that's good. That's good. It's enough slices!
That is crazy. You can see it says Catholic England. Let's switch this up. We can make Cornwall our primary title. We can go back over here, move our realm capital. Oh no, it looks like the Cornish culture actually got wiped out by the Anglo-Cornish. That's a little bit disappointing because, like I said, it had forest traditions and stuff, which is probably what Francis would have really wanted from his Cornish culture, to get discounts on building upgrades. Like you can see, they're pretty expensive, but hopefully, yeah, at least the Anglo-Cornish still has all of the innovations unlocked, and it is only a 2-tile culture. And I'm pretty sure if we look at the development, that these 2 tiles are 96 and 95 development, which is pretty crazy. We can actually continue to increase the development up here, maybe to get it up to 100. It's going up by 7.7 still, because Francis did such a great job playing tall. He really was maximizing his tall benefits out here, and this would be even higher if this land was Cornish, because you'd have the forest traditions benefit taking effect. But what we could do here is go to decisions and convert to local culture, so at least we share a part of Francis's original culture. We have 15,000 men. You can see some of these other kingdoms nearby have been gaining strength, while Cornwall, being ruled by the AI, has been a little bit stagnant. But it does feel good to have beautiful castles here, tier 3 castles, fully upgraded buildings. The second it does hit the year 1200, we will skyrocket into late medieval, because our culture is just insanely developed, and it would take like no time at all to research new technologies. So I think it's a perfect place to hand the game back to Francis. I don't need to really sort out his inheritance. You can see we have 2 daughters, but from what I saw in this game, Francis is pretty decent at Crusader Kings to be able to have such a nice tall kingdom here. And I think he should have no problem to continue to maximize his military strength, and, you know, maybe take over a little bit more of England if he wants, or if he just wants to continue to play tall, he can do that almost at 100 development in both these territories now. I wanted to go through this disaster save a little bit differently than I normally would, like in terms of using military and economics. I think it was a lot of fun to go a little bit more intrigue route, and it shows you that there's always ways that you can finagle your way back into kingdoms through marriage, through murder schemes. Alright guys, I hope you really enjoyed that. I'll be seeing you in the next video. Goodbye.